JQ.
I'm TQ.
We are
the Q Brothers.
And this is Smallflower TV.
Whoa. Yes, it is. And Jay, you gave yourself a haircut there in this social distance phenomenon, and it's looking pretty slick, I gotta say.
Yeah? Did you ever see that episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns hires all of the major leaguers to be on their softball team to defeat the neighboring power plant?
Yeah.
And he keeps yelling at Daryl Strawberry to shave his sideburns, but he has no sideburns. That's how I felt. I was like, I want to get rid of these sideburns, and I just went up all the way, and then I was like, all right, well, I got to commit to this now.
Yeah. No, I like it. It looks good. Looks good. So what are we talking today, Jay? We're doing this. Social distancing is a good time for what?
Oh, so many things. Making music in your studio, but being that it was starting to be nice out, every time I see dandelion greens out there and then see dandelion greens in the grocery store, it's always a reminder of me like, I got to do my spring cleaning, right?
Yeah. And by spring cleaning, you mean internal body spring cleaning?
Yeah, we could talk about the actual spring cleaning. My studio's never looked better. I did have a crazy episode last week where I was just like, I must clean everything in here. I was like, I know the weather's getting nicer because I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
But importantly, as importantly as cleaning your house and your home and your workspace is inside your body, maybe more important. And I just wanted to talk about 3 things I take and 1 thing that I do, sort of.
Sure.
I take 3 days of completely vegan. I go vegan for 3 days, and I eat as many cruciferous vegetables as possible.
That's good. The logic being what?
What's up?
The logic being...
Well, essentially, I'm giving my body a rest from any inflammation from dairy and animal product, and because the digestive tract and your blood barrier, like the barrier between your blood and your digestive tract, at certain points is only 1 cell wall thick. We all get little compromises in there, and then things end up in our bloodstream, and we need to reseal that wall and reinforce that wall with strong cells. And so what I've been taught to do, and what I do every year, I probably do it 2-3 times a year, but I definitely always do it in the spring, is I cut myself off from any inflammatory foods, and then I'm careful about which fats I have for a few days, because there's certain sort of bad proteins, lipoproteins, lipoprotein saccharides, I think they're called, LPSs, and they can ride on the back of certain types of fat. So during this time, I actually don't eat any coconut oil either, or fish oil, and I don't cook olive oil during this time. So I'm just using avocado oil to cook, and I'm cooking very simply. Like I'm taking Brussels sprouts, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, onions, garlic, and if I'm eating any protein, it's a little bit of wild-caught salmon, or a little bit of pasture-raised chicken, or some sardines in olive oil, and it's never more than a deck of cards worth of protein.
But this is during your cleanse, because you just said you go vegan. So you're saying like you might cheat a little.
Yeah,
bit?
like subsequent week, the next week I'll continue it up. But yeah, the first 3 days are vegan, basically. So I'm like just cooking loads of cruciferous vegetables in avocado oil, and then salt, pepper, and then drizzling them in olive oil afterwards. I'm having big salads like avocado, tons of avocado, and like arugula wrapped in seaweed. Make yourself a little pesto. But the idea is to consume as much olive oil as possible raw, and then if you need to cook something, use avocado oil. But here's what I do to start the cleanse. I take 1 of these.
Swiss Chris.
Yeah, but I mean, it's 120 tablets. I'll be using this till I'm 80. I do this, because I take 1 the night before I begin the cleanse. Okay. And then during the cleanse, I'm just very careful. Even nuts, I only will have a quarter cup a day at one point during a break, or if I need it more times, then I split that quarter cup. So I'll pour the quarter cups, pre-measure them into a bag, and only take the bag to my workspace. Because if I have nuts around me, I will just keep eating them, you know?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
So then the two supplements that I take are Oregon grape and
grapefruit seed extract.
Yeah, the label's a little bit blacked, but those are the two that I'm taking multiple times a day, 3-4 times a day during the cleanse. Really, anytime I think.
How long does the cleanse last, Jay?
It's 3 full days of that. And then as you add back in other foods, like I said, it's like salmon, pasture-raised chicken, and then you can start cooking with olive oil on lower heat, things like that. And then
I don't cook a lot with olive oil in general. I feel like occasionally, but I feel like I use avocado oil or I use ghee once I'm like my eggs and things like that. It just seems more high heat tolerant, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You can use coconut oil too if the flavors comply with that. So if you're making some sort of, thing.
Thai stir fry or something.
Yeah, exactly.
A curry or whatever.
Yeah. A lot of Indian food, a lot of Thai food tastes great with coconut oil. But if you're just like making something, like broccoli as a side dish, sometimes some people love it, but I'm like, I don't want to taste coconut in my broccoli.
Yeah, that makes sense. So a couple of questions, because people are probably going to ask or write comments. Yeah. Can we put a little recipe in the notes below, like your guidelines of like what you eat, what you don't eat? Are you drinking coffee during this time?
You can drink as much coffee and tea as you want for 3 full days. Yeah. I mean, as much as you can tolerate. Like some people that'll give you other symptoms. For me, it's no more than 2 coffees a day, because I'll start to get like tight in the jaw or anxiety because of just the level of caffeine that I can tolerate. Yeah, but in general, speeding up your metabolism is good for the cleanse. It will speed up the cleanse. So and the antioxidants that coffee is rich in are good, and tea,
1 big cup of coffee in the morning, 1 big cup of tea in the afternoon. And I realize that's essentially as much as I can handle.
I do a double shot in the morning, double shot early afternoon, and that's it. So I don't, during that time though, don't consume dairy with your caffeine. So like your coffee's got to be straight during that time, or use some sort of,
non-dairy creamer.
Yeah, but even then you're trying to stay away from lots of types of proteins, specifically lectin is what we're trying to get away from.
Better off the cleaner.
No oat milk, no soy milk. If you need to do it, hemp milk. Or if you can make a nut milk out of macadamia or something like that.
My camera's going a little nuts. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. So what should we do? Anything else you want to cover, just if someone wanted to try this out?
No, I mean, I have a good salad that we wrote a blog last year for Spring Cleanse, so we can link that below.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Using all seasonal stuff. We don't do a lot of sugar, me and T, because we have diabetes in the family, and because just if you've ever read the book Sugar Crush, which we can link also below, it's pretty indicting of sugar as a whole in all ways, not just refined sugar. But seasonally, enjoying some fruit a little bit, especially earlier in the day, is not a bad idea for breakfast and lunch. So having a couple berries at breakfast or in your smoothie, or at lunch cutting up something more sour or bitter fruit like kumquats is like a really good way to get a little bit of healthy fruit in your diet.
Yeah, and can I say one of the other things that I was thinking about is that a lot of people, and myself included, don't like doing spring cleanings or feel like it's a challenge because you're doing, you have to go to work and interact with people, and you're going to be a dick or a jerk. And right now you're home anyway, and you probably already are one if you're like me, but you just get to be home or in your office socially distanced. This might be the best time in our lifetimes to try something like this, because it's only additive rather than replacing your normal life with this new temporarily frustrating existence that makes you feel better when you come out the other end of it. You know?
I mean, I think that, also just like this one, there are some symptoms. Anytime you do a cleanse, people, can get a little achy or fatigued or hangry. And I get a little bit of headachy. But one thing to do is when you're doing something like this is just literally chug water, so much water, as much water as you can possibly stomach. You should be drinking all day long. So whatever you need to do to remember that, if that means you need to squeeze lemon juice in it and have mint sprigs in it so it looks more appetizing and it's in a clear bottle next to your keyboard, do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever you need to do. If you need to set an alarm every hour so that you drink 4 ounces an hour or something like that, do it, and just have a pitcher there. And every time the alarm goes off, just chug it,
Yeah. And whether you follow this cleaning or whatever your preferred path of making a change, like it doesn't get, you don't have a better excuse than this. So I just feel also, like whatever you want to do.
Also, I like this one, and we'll point to where to find it in the book to find it in, and the doctor that I follow to find it. But it's also not like a starving cleanse, which I like too.
Yeah.
You're eating throughout it, and you're getting lots of healthy fats. So the negative effects you're getting is your microbiome readjusting. And your bad bacteria saying, "I want that sugar. I want the flour. I want the fruit. I want all that."
That's my best trick for everyone is like when you think your temptation is to identify with that and say, "My body, for me, I just can't do it because my body needs that." You have to flip that and be like, those little effers inside of me are screaming and trying to make me think I need it, but they need it. I don't need it. And as soon as I can kill them off, I will be free of that.
So here's the beauty of this cleanse. It takes 3 days to kill them off. That's it. If you can be super strict for 3 days, you come out the other side like delighting in green things and wanting green smoothies and starving for raw macadamia nuts and seaweed wraps with salmon in them. Like you'll be starving for them.
Yeah. Even if right now that doesn't make your mouth water.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up there, Jay. And one thing I do want to say, the other spring cleaning we all need now that we can't go to a barber is getting a haircut. And our boy Josh at Belmont Barbershop had an article that's been blowing up on how to give yourself a haircut while you can't go to your normal barber. So we should link that too.
That's great.
I try to do it a little bit.
And a lot of barbers right now are offering Zoom calls where they'll walk you through it. So they need the money too, and you need a haircut. So it's a good move,
I think so. All right.
And if you really just lose it, just make a mohawk because that's a real easy haircut to give yourself.
Cool. Well, you did a good job with that. All right. Take care of yourself. Happy spring. Make it as happy as you can, right? We still got each other. Much love. Peace.
Peace.